Mark Steyn is an author, a columnist, and, by the way, an immigrant. We'll let him decide whether his homeland was any sort of hole. He joins us tonight. So, Mark, I mean, maybe I'm, misreading this, and maybe there are things the president said that I didn't hear. I'm sure there were. But from what I could hear, he was saying, look, why would we give, apparently, preference to poor countries over rich ones? And that doesn't seem like a crazy thing to say.
Well, I think he's actually saying, why should we give preference to dysfunctional societies over others? And I'll say it if Jose won't. Until 50 years ago, every nation on earth, every Western nation particularly, thought it had the right to discriminate when it came to immigration among those countries and those people who would find it easier to assimilate and contribute to the country they were moving to. And if Jose thinks you don't like black people or brown people, let's keep it all black. I think it's, I don't think, I agree with the president. I wish he'd formulated it more elegantly, but Haiti is a bleep hole, or whatever you want to call it. Barbados isn't. St. Kitts isn't. Grenada isn't. St. Lucia isn't. There are distinctions one can make, even within quite small groups of countries. And as to Joan Walsh refusing to say whether she'd rather move to Haiti or Norway, let's not wait for Joan. Let's wait for let's just look at the existing traffic. There are immigrants all over the world who move to Norway. Nobody voluntarily moves to Haiti. Why is that? Because it's a dysfunctional society, and so are many of the others from which America's present ludicrous immigration system takes newcomers from.
So here's my question. So China is the most aggressive colonial power in the world right now, and it's investing all over Africa and all over Latin America and all over the Caribbean, spending $30 billion in Haiti, for example. There's no pressure from Joan Walsh or the American left for the Chinese to absorb immigration from any of those regions at all. They're not denounced as racist for keeping their borders totally closed to everybody. Why is that, I wonder?
Well, because China is allowed to advance its own interests. So it's bought, for example, a big ton of bauxites in Jamaica, the bauxite industry in Jamaica. Yes. But it doesn't feel that along with that, it has to import a big bunch of Jamaicans to its country. And that is when people can object to what President Trump says, but it actually makes far more sense than if you look at what Pat Leahy said, who just sent out this eunuch tweet in response, bleating, "That's not who we are." It's not enough, actually, just to say, "That's not who we are." And in fact, that's the response to every one of these so-called problems. That's not who we are. Well, they never actually say who we are. They just say, that's not who we are. And who we are seems to be devolving down into the people who say, that's not who we are. Everybody else, China, Haiti, Norway, is allowed to be who we are and act as a nation in its own national interests, including on immigration policy.
Yeah, well, I think China could use a little more diversity, so we'll be pushing for that in future weeks. Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate it.
Exactly. Thanks, Tucker.
Senator Lindsey Graham had some uncharitable words for this show and anyone who believes in real borders. Of course, he refused to join us, but we'll respond anyway next.